Hey guys, BBI here. I want to stop and say thanks for tuning in and checking out whatever the video is about that's about ready to come up next. If you could take a minute and hit subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you enjoy what you've seen here, make sure to hit the like button. We'd greatly appreciate your support. Anyhow, guys, all that aside, let's get on with the show. Welcome back, gentle and kind sirs. If this is your first time watching, I want to say welcome. If you are following along with the Mr. V series of amplifiers, the Mr. V project, and all my other videos, I want to say welcome back and thank you for watching. I don't know what this is. This is that. It's a little one transistor, mono frequency, little amplifier. Got a little internal fuse, just a little relay, positive negative plug here in the back. It's all blue. Now, somebody went and drilled this ugly nasty hole in the lid at some point or another. I know this because that's the way it came in here. And so I went into my little bucket of toys and I went, oh look, that doesn't look like a bag of ass. The way this sits on here is like this. Okay. Now I don't know who made these. I'm sure somebody's going to message me and tell me. But this is a cute little amp. I've been wanting to do a video on one of these for a little hot minute. An inductor driven amplifier. This is your most efficient way of being able to get a mono frequency amp. And what I mean by mono frequency is I literally mean like mono frequency. Not mono band, mono frequency. They have a hole drilled in the lid over these two tuners over here in a corner. And the reason for that is if you change frequency too far, you've got to retune the amplifier. This is one of the things I had to figure out how to build when I was coming up so I could do an adequate mono resonant frequency test on a transistor. And when you figure out how to do inductive loading like this, with just pure inductors, the whole universe starts to click into place and make sense. Especially when it comes to building any kind of amplifier. There's more parts in here than you actually need, but it is what it is. So your 12 volt current comes in through this little plug, goes across our fuse, goes up here, and now they're isolating it behind some capacitors, and we're using the relay to switch the current on and off to the transistor. So this is our output side, this is our input side. RF comes in, goes through these two trimmers, these Arco trimmers. Then we have a load inductor, okay. We have our actual device. We have our 10 ohm smoke indicator. Let's say that cheeky now. Now this has got two inductors on it. This has got an inductor going this direction and an inductor going this way, okay. Our RF actually goes out this coil. This is a reference for tuning to ground. So this inductor, then a bunch of capacitors to ground. Back this direction. This is our output side. Our 12 volt comes in through here. Please note we've got our capacitors. This is where our wire comes down from our relay. This is where our positive wire comes in, so this middle leg of the relay. Power wire comes down. You've got disc capacitors to ground, which help do what? Do what? Say what, Mary? They shunt or create a capacitive load to ground. So the RF doesn't want to transverse this coil because it's not resonant. So it forces the RF to go through this coil but delivers our 12 volt current to the transistor and allows the transistor to operate. So our RF comes out, once again, going through capacitors and allows it to dump out to this trace, which comes up and out the antenna. Okay. This capacitor blocks the DC, keeps it from jumping onto your coaxial lead. These capacitors block the DC that might be present on the input side if there is any, and there is none in this circuit because this is a Class C amplifier. There is no bias on collector emitter bay. On the collector, there's no positive voltage on the collector slowing down or controlling the transistor switch. Now, that being said, same technology. Now, I put out the video that had this amplifier in it. It's the skeleton amp. I did that video, and then my phone blew up with everybody trying to get me a stud mount transistor. I appreciate that, guys, because this thing is basically garbage. I got something really special in plan for this. We're gonna do something a little bit fun with it. So, this, before we get too carried away, we've got to test to make sure the transistor's good. It is also a stud mount. So, I was at a ham fest a millennia ago, and there was this guy who had this bin, and he was selling all kinds of Collins plugs. Now, there was a time where I could have told you what this plug was. I cannot remember the name of the connector to save my life. I couldn't remember, and honestly, at this point in my game in my life, I don't care. All I know is I looked at that plug and I went, oh, I know where I got a whole bunch of them. This did not come with a power plug. Did not come. I have the appropriate plug. I cannot remember what it is called. It does not really matter because I have the plug and I'm going to wire up the plug to marry to this, which is big spade positive. This is ground. I also have the other side of the plug. I have multiples of these, thank God. How this works is there's a pin that is got, it's kind of serrated. It's got a real rough texture to it, and the pin is what holds the case on. See the pin there? The pinhole? Focus, you bastard. See the pinhole? So we just got to drive this pin out on this side, drive this pin out, and release our wires in the back, and create a power plug. And let's hook it up, and let's see if this works. Okay, so we got this thing hooked up. Let's go ahead and we're going to unplug it, because that's our on-off switch. Wow. At 15 volts, the radio puts out like almost 40 watts. Anyhow, what we got here is a 50 watt element over here in a peak hole. 100 average, and a 5 watt slug in reverse. So, 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2. Let's go over here and let's take a quick look at our spectrum analyzer. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay, nice and clean power going in. So now, what we got going on over here is let's plug this in, and the relay is latching. Hello, 1, 2. So it is making power. Let's go over here and take a look at our pickup on our spectrum. 1, 2. And we'll go up here and let's take a look at our input reflag. Scary deplorable. So, let me zoom out here a little bit. What we do now is we play with our tuners. So, we'll start on our output side. I don't think that this thing is built for 10, 11, or 12. The 20 watts going in, and we're only getting, or 30 watts going in, 30, 35 watts going in, and we're getting 20 out. That means the input SWR is so high it's causing the key-in circuit to oscillate. It acts like it wants more capacitance here. Our input is still all the way in the corner. Now we'll play with our output side. No difference. 1 2 1 2. Okay. What is the frequency that this thing is set up to run on? I need a different radio. Nope. Okay, so higher in the HF band. Nope. The relay wouldn't even latch up. So, but it won't tune lower. Really? Nope, nothing. Nope, it's not liking the pass-through either. Okay. 28. It's in the corner. Oh, we're starting to see the SWR come down a little bit. But we're seeing output power. That's 10 whole watts out. Is that 10 meter box? So that's almost palatable. Almost. So now I'm adjusting the output. And we're watching our input jump all over the place. Now let's go play with our input. No. Okay, this is definitely a 10 meter box. Oh, why not? We'll try it. Look at that. Okay. SWR2. Now we all know I'm smart enough to figure out how to make this work anywhere I want to. I'm just trying to figure out what this is. This looks horrible on the spectrum analyzer, by the way. So the best we can get it's on 6 meters. Hello. What frequency did they build you for, little guy? You got to be in the HF band. Input jumps up. That's all. Sorry. That should probably help you a little bit better, I think. Let's lock this down, make sure the camera doesn't go anywhere on us. I'm not paying attention to the meter on the radio anymore. I'm looking at the watt meter over here. That's a 5-watt element in reverse. Hello. Nope. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. Negative, Batman. Okay. Let's do something a little different. If my phone keeps going off in the background, it's because I'm intentionally ignoring this guy until he's done texting me. I've had this customer that sent me a whole bunch of eBay links, like 10 of them, and then asked me, what do you think? What do you mean, what do I think? He goes, well, I want your honest opinion. Should I buy any of these? I was like, no. I might buy a kit amplifier off of eBay, but I'm never going to buy an amplifier off of eBay. Because I got a whole garage full of them things over here, and a whole shop that's full of them things over here that somebody bought off of eBay, and they don't work. It's too high of a risk. And I wanted to show me cleaning this real quick. So I had these guys ask me in my group the other night, and I feel bad because I was like, they said, well, how do you clean your boards? And I said, I use Windex or 91% isopropyl alcohol. That's this stuff. Please note the print on the top of the transistors. Still perfectly viably clean, right? Well, they went out there, and I don't know what kind of 91% alcohol they used. Maybe they used rubbing alcohol. I don't know. The very first thing I get back is, man, rub the print off my Toshibas. I've never had this stuff. Never, not once, rub the print off the top of a transistor. Now, I've had gallons upon gallons of acetone that I've used to clean transistors. And acetone is an incredibly more aggressive solvent than isopropyl alcohol, in my opinion. I never rubbed the top off of Toshiba. I've had them rub off on the fake ones. The fake ones, the paint just rubs right off. I don't know. I feel bad because if they're really Toshibas, I feel bad that I gave these guys advice that would cause them to hurt their equipment. It's not my intention. Nope, just regular old isopropyl alcohol. Okay, so we changed this quite a bit. As you can see, we added quite a few more caps to it. Their capacitance values were way off, and the output wiring was way off. I don't know what frequency this was actually ever built for. I went and I pulled the part number, which is CT50-12AE23, whatever, stud. This is a 30-watt transistor, by the way. Because it's hyper monobanded, hyper frequencied now, I want you to see how this runs. This will blow you away. So we're on like 14.9 volts. It's a 100-watt slug on the right in peak and 100 in average, and this is just with a regular plain Jane Cobra 29 or a 2950 hitting it. Hello. Oh yeah, board's wet. Board's wet. Hold on a second. Sitting here waiting for this thing to dry a little bit. This guy, he sent me 15 texts. So, BBI, what do you think about this? And then 10 links. I'm like, dude, I don't know. But it was like a dummy load and then a 5,000 he found on eBay and all this other stuff he found on eBay. And I'm like, whoa, dude, calm down. What exactly do you need? Well, his mind is still stuck on whatever it is that he was thinking about. So he's still continuing it on, even though I'm sitting here engaging him, right? So I get like 15 more texts in a row, but they're all short little sentences. And I'm like, oh, the phone's going off and going off and going off and going off. So I answered him back. I said, well, I wouldn't buy this, I wouldn't buy that, I wouldn't buy this, and I wouldn't buy that. And so then he's like, well, I'll pay you right now. I got cash in hand, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, I'm not taking on any new work right now. I'm not taking on any new work. If I took somebody's money right now and said that I could probably get them a project done, I'd be lying out my asshole. I got so much work here. It's not even funny. So he's been going on and on and on and on and on. I'm like, dude, I don't even understand what you want me to do. Can you send me one text and not 15 clearly explaining to me what you want to do? He has sent me 12 texts in the last 10 minutes and called me twice. Patience. Patience. Okay. Hello. Relay is still chattering. Come here. Okay. Remember, this is a 30-watt transistor that's in here. So we've got our 100-watt slug in peak, 100 in average, 5-watt slug in reverse. Hello. Hello. So we're getting 50 average out of it. Hello. And we're laying it in a corner. Now, I can already hear the detractors. Oh, it's bullshit. It's all harmonic. Come on, man. It's me. It's me. 1, 2. 1, 2. Hello. Last time I checked, that is not harmonics. That's 100% on frequency. Well, okay. Well, your input reflex all messed up. That's why it's putting out so much power. Hello. 1, 2. Hello, 1, 2. Hello, 1, 2. We went from pegging that meter in the corner with 5+ watts of reflect to no reflect and it falling back when you modulate or otherwise drive up into the circuit. Hello, run into the corner and peak. So let's say about 120 watts. Let's go to 2x and find out. So let me get my pointing device here. Right here, right about there, a big hash mark there between the 40 and the 50 is 100 watts. Hello, about 120 watts. But it looks so much more impressive when we do it like this. I mean, this is Hollywood, man. Hello, Hollywood, got the Dow. Hello, audio. This little box is flat getting with it now for what it is. And we've got to put everything in perspective, right? This little blue box is really getting with it. Now, the reason that there is a hole in the lid, let's get back to this. The reason there's a hole in this lid right above the tuning section is because of this. We are going to now show you what I mean by hyper mono frequency. So we're at 27,225. And we're getting 120 watts out of it. So if we go up here, come on, get in frame. There we go. Let's change this. So we've gone up 10 channels. Hello, 1, 2. Not that big of a change. So we'll go up 10 more channels. Hello, 1, 2. Not that big of a change. So we stay within the band here. Let's go down to here about channel 1 from channel 22. Hello, 1, 2. It's putting out less power, and we got to come in here and retouch just this potentiometer. Nope, touch this one. There it is. Hello, 1, 2. Okay, now we're seeing the power fall off. Hello. So we're down here around channel 1. But then when we go back up to channel 22, hello. Hello. This is kind of a frequency dependent amplifier. So right now it's set up for channel 20, so it's going to run fairly the same all over the place. But the circuitry that's surrounding this transistor is mono frequency almost. It can put out the most power right around channel 22 because that's where we have this tuned. But it starts to fall off once you get up towards 40, and it's going to fall off a little bit once you get down towards 1. But this is the mother, father, and granddaddy of how to hyper frequency mono frequency a device. So now imagine, we're going to say, what if a guy was to go and hyper mono frequency like a 2879C, or hell, even a 2879, or even a 2290? We'll find out. We'll find out before the end of this series, I guarantee you that. Well, this brings us to the end of our tale on this particular story. Hello, 1, 2. Hello, 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. There's no on-off switch. Once you put power to this thing is on. I had to build a little power cable for it and completely overhaul it, and I have spent most of the day just kind of totally farting around with this, actually, having kind of fun. As always, everything is for sale here. It just is. I feel really comfortable letting this go at almost next to nothing. I would probably like to see at least, well, I don't know, $100 for this or so. You're not gonna, I mean, I can't really ask much more than that. Maybe $125 at the most. At the most, $125 plus the ride, so about 140 bucks. This will easily fit in a flat rate box, you know. But we all know how this goes. Call the number or text it. First one to me gets it. It's got to go away from here. So I don't even know how to label this video. We're just going to call it the blue box. The little blue box needs to go find a new home. And I hope somebody out there can play with it, and they just need to put like 25 or 30 watts into something and get themselves like 100 and a half out of it, because this is exactly what you need. It is a cool little tiny stud mount transistor amp. I think it's neat. I think it's really neat, actually. And if it was up to me, we'd build a whole lot more boxes based this way, because you can even do them in multiples, not just single-end devices like this. So, gentlemen, my name is BBI, and I want to say thank you. Thank you for tuning in, watching, following along, listening to my diatribe, and we just kind of lecture and talk as I go. So I appreciate you tuning in to follow along and check this out. Big shout out to Siglent, Coaxial Dynamics, Excess Power, and Birdwatt Meters. Thanks to every single one of you guys. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it. Now go away now. Go away. I'm going to go eat dinner. I'll see you guys. Bye.